everyone. This is Brian from ActiveMelody.com. This is a three-part mini-series on jazz guitar. I'm going to break down what you're about to hear and show you how to play both the lead part and the rhythm part for this little song. So let's take a listen. Alright, so I'm going to break down everything we just heard and show you how to play that. Now, I have split this into three parts, and in this section we're going to learn how to play just the first half of the solo. So let's get started. Alright, so before we get started, I should mention that you can download the tablature and the jam track for this lesson at ActiveMelody.com. I do have two versions of the jam track, one that's missing the rhythm and one that's missing the lead. And I do want to divert a little bit here before I show you how to break this thing down and play it note for note. And really explain where this is coming from and what the boundaries are that we're working within. That's probably the most important part of this lesson, to be honest with you. You know, you can always just memorize a solo, but that's not really, you're not really learning, you're just memorizing. And so what I'd like to do is explain where this comes from so that when you download the jam track, you'll be able to make up your own solos. That's really should be the ultimate goal. So anyway, we are in the key of G for this, and I'm going to take just a minute here to talk about the minor pentatonic scale. Now, the minor pentatonic scale is a bluesy scale, so that's where most of my lessons tend to be, around the minor pentatonic scale, because I like the blues. And for those of you familiar with the blues lead guitar course at ActiveMelody.com, I broke that down into 5 different patterns. And if you'll remember, pattern 1, so as I mentioned, we're in the key of G for this song. Pattern 1 in the key of G would look like this. Right? Okay. But in this song, it's more of a jazzy song, so the blues doesn't fit this as well. You can do that. You can jump into your minor pentatonic scales if you need to, in any of those patterns for this, and they'll work. But sometimes it clashes because it's real mellow kind of chords and real jazzy. And so what I do, when I think of jazz, as I mentioned, I think of the major pentatonic scale. And in order for me to, and I've got a couple other lessons on this explaining the difference between minor and major, but the way that I do this is I always slide, to get to the major pentatonic scale, I start with a minor pentatonic scale because I know that one the best, and I shift everything down 3 frets on the neck. So if we were in pattern 4 of the minor pentatonic scale, the bluesy one, it would sound like, it would be up here. This is again in the key of G because that's what this song is in. That's your more bluesy sound. If I shift everything down 3 frets and play the same pattern that I did, you can hear it sounds happier. It just sounds more, I don't know, happy, I guess. So that's where when I play jazz, I tend to play out of that happier place. Every now and then I'll shift down and throw in a little bit of blues, but most of it happens in that major pentatonic scale. And again, it doesn't matter which pattern you're playing or wherever you're at. If you're playing a minor pentatonic lick, just shift it down 3 frets. Now, that's not always going to work. There are a few exceptions to the rule. There's a few extra notes in the minor pentatonic scale. And the way it's actually easy to find out what those notes are. All you have to know is do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. If you can do that with your ear, you can find those missing notes that are missing from the minor pentatonic scale when you shifted it down. So, for example, for the key of G, if we were in pattern 4, major pentatonic scale, pattern 4, you can hear how I just played do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. The reason that's important to know is, and in fact I'll do a loop here where I'll play just the first 4 chords of this song. Here we go. And I'll show you how you can just play those, anything from do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. You can play it over and over again in any order. Doesn't matter what the chord is underneath it, it's going to work. And let me demonstrate that. So, you can see now I'm jumping around a little bit. But you get the idea that by playing that do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do in the key of G, major pentatonic scale, now I can play along and I can make up all kinds of jazzy sounding licks just from that. And that's how I play jazz. I'm kind of the poor man's guide to jazz. All you purists are going to make fun of me because I'm sure there's all kinds of technical reasons why this works. But that's kind of how I think of it. It's just, it's just breaking it down to really that simple principle of, if I can take something that I know in the minor pentatonic scale. And by the way, if you don't know the minor pentatonic scale, and you don't know what I mean when I talk about pattern 4, I am referring to the blues lead guitar course at Active Melody. So if you have it, great. If you don't, that's something you may want to check out. So it's going to sound bluesy. If you shift everything up, it's going to sound happy. If you shift everything down 3 frets, on average. Like I said, there are those few exceptions to that scale. That note, for example, so if we're doing do, re, mi, that second note is not in the minor pentatonic scale. Neither is that one. But anyway, the rest of them are. So it's a pretty close match. Real quick too. So here's that loop again. Here's what it would sound like if we did it bluesy. You can see it just doesn't. You can do it. But it's just not really made for that, that kind of laid-back, mellow, rhythm thing going on. It's really made for a happier, more melodic, kind of jazzy sound. All right, so that's my digression. Now let's get into breaking it down note for note. Breaking this down, now the first thing that I do is I play this thing that goes. And you can see that what I'm doing, I'm in the G major pentatonic scale, and you can tell that actually, now I'm sliding up, but I could play it here. That's all part of do, re, mi. So, those are all notes that are in do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. But anyway, what I'm doing there is I'm using my ring finger and I'm starting on the 7th fret, 4th string, and I slide up to the 9th fret. That's the first note that I do. Then I use my pointer finger and play the 7th fret, 3rd string, ring finger on the 9th fret, 3rd string, And there's two ways you can do this. The way I do it is I slide up to the 11th fret. I think that slide gives it a little slur, just like you're trying to emulate the human voice, really. All instruments are, if you think about it. That's kind of why you do vibrato and you do bends and slurs and things. Now you could play it, but it just sounds too robotic. So I'm using my ring finger there, and I'm sliding on the third string rather, from the 9th fret up to the 11th. And then after I get to the 11th fret, I just kind of let it slide down, and then I grab the 7th fret 3rd string with my pointer finger. Then I come down to the 9th fret 4th string to close that out. So all together, slowly, it sounds like this. And by the way, I know a lot of people always ask about the sound I'm using. I just got a little bit of delay and a little bit of reverb, and that's it. So it's a pretty simple sound. And the rest of it's just clean channel, no overdrive. Now the next thing that I do is I play. So to do that, I'm going to take on the 9th fret, 3rd string with my ring finger. I'm going to slide up to the 10th fret. I'm not hammering that on, I'm sliding it. And then I slide back down too. Again, you're giving it a vocal quality. Then I'm coming down to the 7th fret, 3rd string. And I'm using my pointer finger for that. And then the last note there I play is on the 10th fret, 4th string. So it goes. Okay. Up to this point we have. You can tell when I do that. That's kind of getting into the blues. It's getting a little bit of a bluesy sound. And I like that. I like just peppering the blues in. I always kind of work it in somehow. But anyway, to me, that seemed like the right thing to do there. After that, I play this thing that goes. And for that, all I'm doing is, it all happens on the 4th string. And I have my pointer finger down on the 10th fret, on the 9th fret, and I hammer on and pull off. All happens at once, just like that. You may want to just practice that over and over again until you get that technique down. But that hammer on is on the 10th fret. So I'm pushing down on the 9th fret with my pointer finger, and I hammer on to the 10th fret and pull off from the 10th fret. And I use my ring finger for that. You could use your middle finger, but mine was just kind of out of the way there, so I just used my ring finger. Ended on the 7th fret, 4th string. Like that. So thus far we have. Okay. Then the next little phrase sounded like this. And all I'm doing there is I'm just repeating the 7th fret, 4th string, come up to the 9th fret, 4th string, then slide up to the 10th fret, 4th string, and then just kind of slide back down and grab the 7th fret, 4th string again and repeat that. And then I do this little walk up where I go. And I'm not sure where I got that. I probably heard that somewhere else. And so if any of you know where that came from, please let me know. But that walk up. Whoops. Sounds like that. And this may be probably one of the most challenging parts of this whole solo. It's actually a pretty easy solo, but this part, this walk up, may give some of you challenges. But it starts on. But you can do this. Don't let it hold you back. It starts on the 7th fret, 4th string, pointer finger. Then we go up to the 9th fret, 4th string with my ring finger. And I actually use my pinky, guys. I know that some of you were giving me a hard time on YouTube because I wasn't using my pinky, and I don't usually, but in this case I need to. So that's the 10th fret, 4th string. Okay, those are your first 3 notes. Now we're going to come up to the 7th fret, 3rd string. Then we're going to go to the 9th fret, 3rd string. Okay, so thus far we have. Now, I'm going to take my middle finger and come down on the 2nd string, 8th fret, to play this note. So, and then after that, I go to the 7th fret, 2nd string, with my pointer finger. Now, after that, I stay on the 7th fret, but I go to play the 3rd string. And then finally, I close on the 9th fret, 4th string. So those last notes are. Now, one thing that I do too that I just realized is when I come off of that 8th fret, 2nd string, to the 7th fret, I actually kind of bar strings, really the first 3 strings on the 7th fret, so that I can real easily play that 2nd string, or I'm sorry, that 3rd string. And then back down to the 9th fret, 4th string. So all together, slowly, that second phrase sounds like this. Again. Now my right hand is just alternate picking, so it's down, up, down, up, down, up, or I'm sorry, down. Now my right hand is just alternate picking. That means down, up, down, up. So it's down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And that's always a good habit to play. If you're playing multiple notes like that, even across strings, usually you alternate pick to get the speed and accuracy that you need. So, all together, this whole thing sounds like this. Okay? Now, after that, I have this part that goes. And this part's very easy. I use my middle finger, slide up to the 9th fret, 3rd string. So that's my first note. Then I take my pointer finger and go to the 8th fret, 2nd string. Then I go to the 10th fret, 2nd string with my ring finger. So, those are your first 3 notes. And then I do this hammer-on thing. Just repeat that note. So, and to hammer on, I just put my pointer finger down on the the 8th fret 2nd string, and then hammer on to the 10th fret 2nd string, and then play the 8th fret 2nd string twice. And I've used some vibrato there. I have a lot of people asking me about vibrato. Just practice it. It's hard to put into a lesson because you know so much of that is just muscle memory. So just keep practicing if you're trying to get your vibrato to sound the way you want to. It'll eventually come. It took me a whole summer, believe it or not. Then I did this thing where I went, and I like that a lot. That's, again, you can tell it kind of shifted into the blues there. And for that, I'm doing 2 slides. I'm doing this first slide from the 7th fret to the 8th fret on the 3rd string, using my pointer finger. Then I take my ring finger and I go up to the 10th fret 2nd string, and I slide up to the 11th fret 2nd string, just like that. So together those two are like this. And if you do it real fluid, it sounds kind of like that. And it's pretty easy. You can see my hand is just very slowly sliding up. And then I come down and I play, and that's just a slide down from the 11th fret to the 10th fret on the 2nd string. And then I play with my pointer finger, I play on the 8th fret 2nd string. And then I do this little part. And to do that, I just repeat that part, which is just the 10th fret and 8th fret on the 2nd string. And then I slide from the 10th fret up to the 12th fret with my ring finger on the 2nd string. And then I use my pointer finger up here on the 1st string, 10th fret, to play that note. Okay, so let's play the whole thing up to this point. I'll try and do it slowly. I'll tap my foot for the rhythm. Okay, and then after that I played so after, again we're on this 1st string, 10th fret there, then I play this little bit. Now you could do it one of 2 ways. You could either hammer it on, or you could just play it straight. Either way works. But what I'm doing is I'm playing 2nd string, 12th fret. Then I'm playing the 10th fret 1st string, and then back to the 12th fret on the 1st string. And when you get to that note, you may want to give it a little shake. Then I come back to the 12th fret, back to the 10th fret 1st string. Then I slide down 2 more frets to the 8th fret 1st string. Then we go to the 7th fret 1st string. And then I come down with my middle finger to the 8th fret 2nd string. And I hit that twice. So altogether, And then I saved the best part for last, this little Chet Atkins sounding harmony thing where I go. And that's just me you're playing two notes, so you're harmonizing with yourself. And to do that, I use my pointer finger and ring finger. My pointer finger is on, I slide into, I start this here, so my pointer finger is on the 8th fret, 1st string. My ring finger's on the 10th fret, 2nd string. Now, I don't actually play that note, but that's where I start. So I start there and I slide everything up 2 frets so that it sounds like that. And then where I'm landing is my ring finger is on the 12th fret, 2nd string, pointer finger is on the 10th fret, 1st string. So that's the note you want to create. You just slide into it. And you could slide all the way from down here. Doesn't matter. But I usually start, 2 frets down and just slide into place. And then I shift gears. I leave my ring finger down on the fretboard the whole time. My pointer finger comes off, and my middle finger comes down. So I slide everything up 1 fret. So my ring finger is now on the 13th fret, 2nd string. Then I bring my middle finger down on the 12th fret, 1st string to create this sound. So you can see what we've done there. And then we go back to what we started with there. That's the 2nd string, 12th fret, and 1st string, 10th fret. That's where we started. We jump up to this, and then we go back to that. And then the last note is we come down here, and I'm going to put my pointer finger on the 7th fret, 1st string, and my middle finger on the 8th fret, 2nd string to get this sound. So all together, that little last part sounds like this. And you may want to practice that part over and over again. And you can have some fun with that too. Now that you're in the harmony mode, you may want to make a whole solo out of just doing harmonies, where you could find other positions up and down the neck and a lot of this just kind of go by your ear, but know that it'll either be this shape or this shape. But you can see the fun you can have even just with these harmonies. So the nice thing about when you're doing a harmony like this is it's usually one of 2 shapes. So if you think of this as shape 1 and this is shape 2, just try pushing shape 2. You can find other places to do shape 2 and other places to do shape 1. Anyway, that's that whole first half of the solo. So hopefully that's been helpful to you, and you can understand the boundaries as to where these notes are coming from. Even if you don't get it all, that's okay. At least you maybe can start to put some of the pieces together. So let me go through and I'll back up and we'll do the whole thing so that you have a version of it without any music, all in its entirety, and this will be a reference for you. So here we go. And there you have it. There's part 1 to the solo. Now make sure you tune in. I'm going to do the second half of the solo, and then I'm going to follow it up with a third video which will be showing you how to play this really cool rhythm. Cool jazz rhythm. So again, I hope that's been helpful to you. If you have any questions, you can always shoot comments on YouTube over at activemelody.com, or you can email me directly. I'm always happy to answer. My email is brian@activemelody.com. So that's all I have in this lesson. Make sure you watch the second part.